What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Andrea from SMUBE's Campus Radio. Say what you want to say. On today's edition of Music in the Making, we have with us a very special guest. He is one of this year's performers for SMU's first ever Virtual Patrons Day. Everyone, please join me in giving a very warm welcome to the one, the only Shitabi himself, Young Raja.
Hello, how's everybody doing? What's up, guys?
Thank you so much for joining us today and gracing our Virtual Patrons Day stage. Speaking of which, this year's theme, 21 and Glowing, what are your goals for the new year?
My goals, just to have a steady movement forward. 2020 was a weird year for all of us. There's a lot of setbacks, but I think all of us are stronger in many ways. And one of my biggest hopes is that in 2021, we can apply the lessons that we have learned in 2020 and just have a stronger and a better and a more confident approach in whatever it is that we're trying to do in 2021.
Exactly. As we all know, this past year has changed the way we consume music. And I'm curious to know how it has influenced your recent releases. You've been dropping some pretty hot tracks recently, including your very own remix of the local classic Muneru Valiba. Tell us more about them.
Oh, that was a very exciting project. It was immediately something that my team and I were excited about because Muneru Valiba has never been remixed or given a new spin in decades. And being a Tamil-speaking Indian, I felt like it's one of the coolest projects to date. And we took a lot of pride in making it right or giving something solid for the fans or for the people that have been supporting us.
Awesome. So for our viewers who might be avid TikTok users, you might have heard of one of Young Raja's recent releases, the dance song that has been gaining a lot of traction on the platform. And come to think of it, your releases always manage to garner a lot of online attention. I'm sure your fans want to know how much you love TikTok and what your thoughts on the platform are.
TikTok is the future, man. I'm not gonna lie, TikTok is the future. Everything that you saw for the dance song was a team effort, and the dance challenge that we did on TikTok, it's never been done before, especially in Singapore, right? So we just wanted to try it out and see how it goes, and who we can target, or what kind of dance challenges we can come up with, make it cool and fun and interesting. And it became a successful campaign. We managed to target a lot of the younger kids as well. I walk in the streets these days, and just yesterday, this 10-year-old kid came up to me and she was telling me about the Wiggly challenge. She didn't even know the dance song, but she knew the Wiggly challenge that we did for the TikTok campaign. So it's the future, man. It's the next generation. It's all up in that app, and it is something that we have to consider, having our foot in when it comes to creating art or creating anything dope.
I think it's so cool, like you mentioned before, you are so into bringing out your culture, Tamil culture, a lot of the Hollywood influences and everything. You see people having mini film remakes or reciting Rajnikant dialogues and the filter challenges and that. But I have to say, my favorite TikTok trend has to be the videos on fashion tips. And it's no secret that you have such a passion for fashion. I mean, you work with some of the biggest names in the game. I want to know, when did your love for fashion begin and how has your style evolved over the years?
Before I went into mass communication, that I have always been very explorative, and I would always wear colorful things, and I never really shied away from bold outfits or bold pieces, right? And I've always had a very unorthodox outlook on fashion. My family and my relatives and people in my circle, they never really shared similar perspectives. But when I went into Ngee Ann Poly mass communication, everybody was in the same frequency, and it was part of the culture where everybody they wanted to have a certain kind of image, you see. It was one of those things, and I've never been in a situation like that, and being a part of a cohort like that really changed and formed the guy that I am today. I started to get a whole new passion. Those 3 years, 2012 to 2015 was when I really got into different styles and exploring different styles and trying to figure out what I like, what are the things that I love to wear. And now that I'm an artist and now that expression is my job, fashion just helps me so much. It just is one of the facets that I feel like in the last couple of years I've kind of reinforced and made it a strong part of my part of me, you know.
Well, nowadays, with online platforms such as Instagram, more than ever, being a public figure comes with its own set of pressure. And how has it been like for you? How do you feel about being a public figure on social media?
You forget how many people are watching and listening to what you say and do. And you kind of have to remind yourself that to a certain degree, there's that artistic responsibility to be aware of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're trying to promote besides your music. And being an artist, it goes beyond the art, right? It goes beyond the art if you're an artist, because what are you standing for? What are you trying to talk about? What are the things that you're trying to advocate? All these things come into play. And I think it takes conscious effort to always remind myself to be aware of that and not steer too far left or right, and just be centered as I move forward, you know, because it's truly more than music. It's truly more than music. If there's any kind of influence or impact, I would want it to be, you know, based on the things that I believe in, you know, positivity, love, family, finding joy in the things that you do, inspiration, compassion, empathy. Like, these are the kind of things that I try to center myself and my brand and my music around, and everything else that I do, like whether it's the shoots or the songs that I'm putting out, is just different elements that elevate the messages that I'm trying to put out, right? But it's always trying to figure out how to place these different things that I'm trying to do and align everything, right? So yeah, so it's an everyday process, and sometimes you do forget, you know, you're human. Sometimes you get carried away with other things, and it is a very unique and blessed opportunity to be in a place where I'm at, because anything that I do, I have people that are supporting and loving and liking and sharing and commenting on things. It is one of the best things and the most blessed things ever, really. And I care about it, and I try my best to be responsible about it and be aware about it. Yeah.
I must really say, I admire your positive energy. I'm all about being positive, staying high vibrations, counting your blessings. Definitely, for sure. You are so infectious. I'm loving the energy. But I want to know, you're very welcome. Have you always had such a positive outlook on life? And if not, what inspired the change towards having such a hopeful outlook on your life?
I have always been happy-go-lucky. Like, you should see my family, like my mom and dad, especially my mom. She has that infectious, positive, generous, high vibration vibe that she has. She's always been that way. Grew up in a household like that, and me being the last son and the baby in the family, I was pampered by her, and she raised me very close contact. Like, she had all hands on decks, like raising me up, like. And I know I learned all these things from her. Like, whether I wanted to learn it or not, I got it from her naturally. Yeah, man, my mom is the biggest inspiration and the biggest engine behind why I'm like this. It's something about her vibe and her energy that makes other people feel accepted and something positive, without trying too hard or without manipulating the situation to purposely want to make that person feel that way. It's like just the mode of being that she's always at, a mode of being that it's like a universal adapter for vibes. And I saw that, and I've had this very special opportunity to grow up around that and to be raised around that. And I truly see that that's the way to go in life, you know, like compassion and empathy and gratitude and love. These are the ways to move forward as one humanity. And I see my mom set an example and live by example with that, and I'm just following in the footsteps, man.
That's amazing, man. You're truly an inspiration, both you and your mother. And I wonder if you happen to have any parting advice for aspiring artists who wish to break into the music industry like you have.
Yeah, I mean, I just started. I'm a kid in this industry still. I'm growing. I'm working on myself just like everybody else. I don't feel like I'm in a very good place to like give advice or whatever, but I can share some things that I've learned. I have learned that it is way more important to be yourself than to be cool, or than to create an image that you think is cool, right? People give so much importance to coming across as cool. People don't really ask the questions to to see if they are being 100% themselves. Because what I've come to find out is at every juncture of my life, there's always been a place that I reach where I hit a wall and it brings upon self-doubt and insecurity and uncertainty and just, I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure with myself and whatever it is that I'm doing. And when I hit that wall, and it happens quite some time, it happens in everybody's life, especially as an artist, if you're trying to create music, right? When you hit that wall, the only thing that helps you overcome that wall is knowing that there's nobody else that can do what you do. There's nobody else that is exactly like you. And being an artist that is trying to express themselves and their identity and their story and what makes them them, it is so crucial to understand and remember what makes them them and what makes them unique and special and what they have to offer. And sometimes what we do is when we're trying to be cool, we try to emulate another person and we try to be like somebody else. We have another impression of like whoever, Travis Scott or Drake, whoever that we saw on the internet. And in that process of trying to emulate, you lose track of who you are as an artist, you know? And I went through that very early on in my career, and I had to learn kind of not really the hard way, but the long way.
Absolutely love it. Thank you for that. That was so inspirational. I'm like just in awe of everything that you said. Thank you once again, Young Raja, for joining us today. It was absolutely lovely talking to you.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you so much. For all you viewers out there, make sure you tune in to catch Patron 2021 and do check out all of SMUBE's social media platforms. Once again, I'm Andrea from SMUBE's Campus Radio. Say what you want to say. Signing out.
Boom.